y'all. This is the inaugural episode of the Black Sales Podcast. You're here with Pete Messer and Josh Piles, and we're here to have some fun. We're here to talk about some stuff, talk about our lives.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. We're both exercise physiologists, entrepreneurs, venture guys, stargazers, everything in between, and we're just here to talk about some shit. And yeah, we can talk. So we're going to talk.
Naming it Black Sales Pod, little history behind that. We pride ourselves in being pirates. Being a pirate is taking your destiny into your own hands, breaking away, not listening to the man. And we are recording this first of many podcasts in our own cigar lounge.
Absolutely.
Which is made possible through piracy.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah,
legal piracy. Legal.
All legal. We have all the paperwork to prove that.
Yeah, we're great at paperwork.
But yeah, that's exactly what we're about to do. Him and I talk a lot. This podcast kind of started, just like every other podcast. You start talking, hey, we should do it. Well, we do a lot of things. It's like, when are we going to fit it in? Well, let's create an opportunity to be able to fit it in and still do our business at the same time. And that's what we're going to do. This is going to be awesome. I mean, we have a lot of great conversations. Some that needed to be public, and thank God it's probably not. But that's what we're
It might end up out there now.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Piles, give us a little history on you, man. Where did you grow up? How did you grow up? Okay. Let's go from little bitty Piles to high school Piles.
Oh wow, we can't talk about Miracle in Meadowbrook yet.
Oh, trust me, you'll hear about the Miracle at Meadowbrook every other episode.
You got to throw it out there every once in a while, right? You got to remind people who you're dealing with.
Don't forget, it's Josh Piles.
Yeah, so I got a typical story, just like atypical, I guess you would call it. Grew up here in Moundsville, where our cigar bar is, right, down the street.
Living my best cigar life, Moundsville.
Absolutely.
Give us a follow.
Yes. Mom had me at 15 years old. In this town of Mound Town, as I call it, probably moved 12 to 14 times. Before the fourth grade. All those fun things helped mold me into the guy I am. I'm not definitely a victim of anything that ever came from those things. I think they molded. My mom was the best mom and child that she could be at the same time.
Right.
She not only was my mother, but she was also my father.
And growing up at the same time as you.
Growing up at the same time trying to raise kids.
Yep.
Exactly. And so later in life, moved to Shady Side, Tiger Town, and started playing sports. And then that's where I latched it. I always tell the kids, football was my dad. It taught me how to cry. It taught me how to be motivated. It taught me how to set goals and break those goals and create more goals.
And really, like in this area, especially of the Ohio Valley, football is a lot of kids' dads.
Yeah, absolutely.
It breaks my heart sometimes, but it's another reason why high school sports are so important. It's certainly one of the reasons, at least for me, and I'm assuming you too. I love high school sports so much. It's the best because you are getting raw emotion out of those kids, and that big play on a Friday night could be the difference in a kid's life. Sometimes that could be the corner that he needed to change to realize, oh, I'm not by myself.
Exactly.
A lot of people care about me that some kids don't get at home.
That's their only family they do have.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it was. For a young guy like me, I had great supporting cast from my grandmother and my mother. Believe it or not, my uncle was always there. Never missed a high school football game, and that was big. But that camaraderie. I'm the oldest of 6 boys. Yeah, I was closer to his teammates. Unfortunately, in my youth with my teams than I was my brothers. We moved a lot. That's just that realm of having kids young.
Yep.
But that molded me in high school. I always thought I was a dumb kid, and I was like, man, I'll get good grades and all this stuff, and I kind of put myself down a lot. That was molding my young brain at the time, and lacked confidence in the classroom, I guess, if you will, right? And then you get to college, and you're like, hey, kid, unless you're going to grow up the exact way you grew up, and you're going to carry that into your adult life, and you're going to invite kids into your life. You're going to have babies, and you're going to grow them up the same way, right? And the answer for me was no, absolutely not. I got to break this mold. I got to break out of this thing, and went off to college. Studied. I heard a chemistry teacher in high school. I still remember to this day. He said, Josh, I was the kid that had to go to the far back room of the library and had to bury myself with those bookshelves around me, and I had to get away from everybody and get it quiet and study. And believe it or not, that got me through college. I got ADD. That's who I am. But
that's your superpower.
That's my superpower,
right? Man.
It really is, and that's what got me through there. And I ended up graduating college over a 3.0. You know, and that's what I found out. I wasn't a dumb kid. I was uninterested, and I had a lot of shit going on. You know what I mean? Break out of that confidence, and then you start getting into the world of, let's go get a job, or let's move away, the boomerang kids, as they call us out there. And I'm totally one of them. And then it gave me enough confidence, I've already been all around this place, of life, they call it, and been ups and downs and broken, poor, and had money and didn't have money. It's like, why don't I start my own business?
Right.
What do I have to lose? I can just go back and go get a job if I have to. You know what I mean? I got the gift of gab.
Right.
Hey. So I can obviously make money. If you can talk, you can make money, right? So it's just like, screw it. You know what I mean? And then 2013, here we are. I started the training business. I'm going to throw this out there. First of its kind in 2013 with Educated Exercise Physiology, nationally accredited.
He loves to throw that in my face. I was still in college in 2013.
I'm just saying, I was the first. But again, just because you have an idea doesn't make it yours.
That's right.
And we've seen this now here in the 2022, which is good. At the beginning, you're a little bit bitter. It's like, he's copying me. Is he really copying it? Those people are trying to make a living too.
Everybody's trying to eat, baby.
So
Everybody's trying to eat.
What it is. But in a nutshell, as we go on, this is episode 1 of Black Sales. There's going to be many to come and get a chance to really get to know me. And I believe people know of me. There was I know Piles.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a little, going to Shady Side Pub and you go
when
to the
you
bars.
when you talk as much as you do, people are going to assume that they know you.
That's right. But do they know me? Right? And I don't think people know me as well as they think they know me.
A Piles is like an onion. It's got layers.
That's right. Exactly. That's right. So how about Pete? I know you come from Texas. That's God's real country.
That's true.
That's God's real country.
Even though we're in West Virginia.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm a big West Virginia guy, but come on. It's Texas.
God's country.
You don't mess with Texas.
No.
You know what I mean?
So my story is almost the exact opposite of Piles. I was born into a great 2-parent household. Both of them on their second marriages, and through my mom's first marriage, her and her husband had adopted my sister, Kim, who is a special needs Hawaiian girl growing up in the panhandle of Texas. So her life experience is kind of like no one else's in the country.
Yes.
She was certainly the minority in school, and I definitely credit some of my worldview and everything like that to growing up with a special needs sister who that already makes you a minority, but also in a small West Texas town of Memphis. 2,400 people. Right. She was the only Hawaiian for miles and miles and miles.
Absolutely.
So that certainly gave me a different outlook on life. But grew up, always had that entrepreneurial gene in me. Both of my parents, by the time I came around, were lawyers, but had done every different kind of job under the sun. My mom owned an ice cream parlor in Hawaii for a little while.
And your mom's story alone is quite incredible.
Yeah, we'll have her on here to tell that story.
I tell you what, I'm telling my story, then you break out. Mom lived on a porch for a month. You know,
yeah,
that is amazing.
Emancipated herself. Said, you know what? I'm out. I'm leaving Oklahoma. I'm moving to Cali by myself.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Yeah,
that's just different. That's just different. You know.
Yeah,
but I fuck with people like that though.
Kay Messer, she's a badass.
Absolutely. But I like fucking with people like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why I think that's why we get along so well. Mm-hmm. You got this. You know, when we got together, we were we were part of the West Virginia Rough Riders indoor team who won a national championship. And that's the first time Pete and I really got to know each other. You know?
Right. We had met each other a couple times. Yeah. We had worked with the same coaching staffs in different facets.
Yep. And then we really got to know each other there. I'm like, I came home, told the lady, I said, hey, I gotta connect with this kid. Mm-hmm. You know, he's got pure heart. You know, that was the biggest thing I met. You know, from what I got from it. Anyway.
I'm good at tricking people.
Yeah. So I'm like, on top of that, he truly tries to outwork me. Like, I don't know what this kid is like trying to outwork me.
Tries. You guys says that tries.
This kid going to outwork me. I'm like, man, that's the people I want to mess with. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The people that want to get up, work, and we don't know what we make per hour. I have no clue. Like, it's like, hey, I work 12 hours. I made what? I have no clue.
Nope, that's not our business, man.
To get done, and we do it. And I'm like, and you are the same guy. So that's how we got together. Yeah. But how about sports? You know, we love sports. That's how we made our first living is in sports. You know, like, so what, what's your background on all that stuff?
So again, growing up, small West Texas town, graduated with 36 people. So there wasn't a lot of, athletes to go around as far as the sports teams were concerned. Everybody had to play everything, right? So I was a 5-sport athlete in high school. That doesn't mean that I was a good athlete. That just means that I was willing to work. I was willing to keep showing up and going to more practices.
I think that's why you and Coach K, that's why you guys get along. That's what he talks about all the time.
Yeah. But I ran cross country to stay in shape for basketball, which was definitely my main sport. Yeah. Played football in the fall also while running cross country just to stay in shape. Missed a lot of cross country meets for Saturday morning film, but hey, it is what it is. I was still getting in shape. That's all I cared about. Right. Played basketball in the winter, ran track in the spring, and played tennis in the spring. The tennis was definitely it was definitely my most enjoyable sport because it was kind of my screw off sport. Like, I don't really care if I win or lose. Right. My best friend, Jeremiah Torres, we were doubles partners all the way through, having fun, hitting on girls at tennis matches.
The biggest thing, people underestimate tennis, though. Mm-hmm. Like, if you don't have the you might be fast and strong. You know, I saw myself as a weightlifter. I'm like, I'll smoke that ball. Mm-hmm. You know, 120, 130 miles an hour, no problem. Yeah, you're not going to get it in the court.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you don't have that right technique, it doesn't matter.
If you throw 100 miles per hour, but they're all balls, who cares?
Matter. Yeah. It doesn't matter. And I really got enlightened by the sport of tennis in college. We tried to jack around just for, if you call it cross training before cross.
Right, yeah.
Cross training, I was like, I'll try it. Nothing that was competitive, but just jack around some guys. I was terrible, and I never went back. That's just not for me. If I was built to go forward, backwards, and maybe jump a little.
Yeah, that's about
it. That's amazing. Yeah, so with that being said, I don't want to keep you guys too long. Listen to us ramble on because we got some shit to talk about, right? So, but yeah, we'll end it with that, and we really look forward to building this crowd here, listening to all of our stuff. We're gonna get into Bermuda Triangles. We're gonna get into aliens. We're gonna get into maybe making a little bit of money.
Maybe some business ideas come out of this.
Absolutely. We're going to motivate the shit out of you because we got some stories. We got some shit to talk about. But thanks, guys, for listening. I appreciate you.
See you next week.